This right here is my favorite thing ever in the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
Hi everyone, it's Grayson, and this is Grayson Talks Everything. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're not new and are returning, welcome back. Do be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't already, do be sure to follow my Instagram so you never miss updates on when videos of mine are coming out. And to just admire some art of mine that I regularly post. Some should be showing up on here. And again, the link to my Instagram is always in the description of my videos. But if you want to know my Instagram tag right now, that should be showing up on the screen as well. Alright, let's get into it. Today we are talking about Loki episode 5. This was a wild episode. But yeah, let's just get into it. I'm really excited to break this down with you guys. There's like a huge reveal. Let's just get into it. Wow, talk about glorious purpose. That was an absolute incredible 40-ish minutes of television. I absolutely love this episode, and after watching it a second time to break it down, my mind was absolutely blown away. You really see the show come together because it's so well layered and constructed, with character motivations and great character development and acting, especially from Richard E. Grant. He was the real MVP of this episode, and future plot lines sewed and coming to fruition. And there are so many huge Marvel Easter eggs all around this episode, and had an action sequence at the end that rivals some of the MCU movies entirely. I am now super worried for Black Widow and other MCU Phase 4 movies, because I now just don't think they really have the time to compete or compared to the quality of all three of the Disney Plus shows that have come out so far. Even Eternals and Thor 4 might need to look out, because this episode alone could really take on all those movies. It was phenomenal. This and WandaVision and maybe Falcon and Winter Soldier, I predicting some sort of Oscar sweep, or at least some nominations, which are already in like the cards. How many Lokis are too many? That's the question Loki episode 5 puts to the test, bringing Tom Hiddleston's God of Mischief into contact with not one, not two, not three, but countless other Loki variants. Picking up immediately where Loki episode 4 left off, the latest installment of the Marvel series sees Loki navigating his way through the desolate wasteland he woke up in after being pruned by the Time Variance Authority. Once there, he runs into not only a number of other Loki variants, but also learns about and later confronts the powerful being that lords over the realm. It's the episode where Loki fully embraces the absurdity of its multiversal premise, and at the center of it is a comics character with major ties to, you guessed it, Kang the Conqueror. Loki episode 5 doesn't waste much time before explaining where exactly it is that Loki was sent to at the end of episode 4. As explained by Judge Renslayer in one of the episode's opening scenes, the TVA's pruning sticks don't actually erase variants from existence. She says when you prune a branched reality, it's impossible to destroy all of its matter. So instead of erasing its captured variants, the TVA instead sends them to a void at the end of time. It's a place where every instance of existence collides at the same point and simply stops, and where the TVA can send all of the remaining matter from the universe's various branched realities without worrying about them continuing to grow. It's essentially a purgatory for all of the universe's many endless what-ifs. But that's not to say that the Void is a place where all of the TVA's prune variants can just hang out peacefully. As a matter of fact, they all live in constant fear of being consumed and destroyed by a temporal being known as Alioth. Depicted as a massive, sprawling purple cloud with a beast-like head, Alioth rules mercilessly over the Void, providing a constant threat to all its inhabitants. However, as Loki episode 5 eventually reveals, Alioth's role in the Void isn't just to instill fear in all of the variants unlucky enough to be sent there. He also acts as a guard dog, protecting and shielding the entrance to a cosmic mansion where the TVA's mysterious leader presumably resides. In the comics, Alioth is even more terrifying and powerful than he is shown to be in Loki episode 5. He's the first being in the universe to have freed himself from the constraints of time, and his empire is said to be 2 to 3 times larger than even Kang the Conqueror's. In fact, Alioth's presence is the key reason that Kang never expanded his dominion too far into the timeline, in the comics at least, even creating a barrier specifically designed to keep Alioth from invading his empire. That barrier was accidentally destroyed by Ravonna Renslayer, yes, that very same Ravonna Renslayer, following Kang's death in the comics. As a result, Alioth began to threaten not only Kang's empire, but various other temporal realms throughout the time stream, which led to Kang being revived and working with the Avengers to stop Alioth's conquest. In other words, Alioth's presence in Loki episode 5 is just the latest instance in which the Marvel series has included a comics character with major connections to Kang. So, does that mean that Loki will actually, as many Marvel fans have theorized, reveal next week that it's Kang who has been behind the TVA all along, which I have theorized as well? Loki has admittedly included a noteworthy amount of comics connections and references to Kang across its first 5 episodes, but WandaVision also proved that borrowing elements from a certain comic storylines doesn't necessarily mean the villains associated with them will also be used. Given how massive of a villain Kang is, it seems unlikely that Marvel will introduce him for the first time in one of its Disney Plus series. With that being said though, it's certainly not out of the question. Stranger things have happened in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and there's plenty of evidence that this points to suggest that Kang has been pulling the TVA strings from the very beginning. The good news is that we don't have to wait much longer before finally finding out if that's actually the case or not. Capitalizing on a massive distraction caused by classic Loki, played by Richard E. Grant, the closing moments of Loki episode 5 see Loki and Sylvie succeeding in linking with Alioth and enchanting him. That causes the protective barrier maintained by Alioth to crumble and part open, revealing the entrance to the cosmic mansion Sylvie had briefly glimpsed during her first run-in with Alioth earlier in the episode. And that's where Loki episode 5 ends off, with Loki and Sylvie closer to discovering the truth about the TVA than they've ever been before. All that remains to be seen is how Loki's final few TVA revelations do or do not alter Loki and Sylvie's ultimate plans to tear the organization down. Fortunately, as Loki episode 5 makes explicitly clear, it's not a mission they have to worry about doing alone. So that's my review and breakdown of Loki episode 5. What did you think? Are you guys excited for the season finale tomorrow? Or not tomorrow, next Wednesday? What do you think? Share your thoughts down below, and don't forget to like and share and subscribe. And again, follow my Instagram where you never miss updates when videos of mine are coming out. And to again admire some fan art of mine that I regularly post on there. Alright, bye everyone.